What is up, guys? It's Colin. Welcome back to another video on the Brickaniac channel, and in today's video, we'll be taking a look at my newest custom set based off of the new movie, Spider-Man No Way Home. And if you haven't seen it, don't worry, this video will contain no spoilers, but if I were you, I'd steer clear of the comments. Anyways, let's just get started with the set. Starting off with the figures, the first figure is Spider-Man himself in his Iron Spider suit that he was seen using in this scene. I used some of the parts from Lego's version, but I didn't feel like theirs was detailed enough, so I gave him a lot more printing, especially on his legs. But that's all I have for him. Let's move on to the next figure. The next figure is Dr. Otto Octavius, or Doc Ock for short. He uses the Harry Potter hair and dark brown, and on his face are his dark green tinted sunglasses as well as his smile. He has a dark green jacket printed on his shirt, and it flows down onto his leg printing, and he just has some straps and other things printed onto his torso. He has one of the Lego Batman movie belts in black, and lastly, if you turn his head around, he has a confused expression. The third figure is the MIT officer, and she's the entire reason that Peter was on the bridge in the first place. She just has some normal civilian clothing, and she has a screaming expression, as well as some dark brown hair. And by the way, sorry about the picture on the left, it's the best one I could find, but it's still really blurry. The last figure is Green Goblin, the main villain of the movie. He just looks great in my opinion. He has a ton of printing on his arms, legs, and torso, and his accessory is an orange pumpkin bomb. He also has some printing on his mask, which I think turned out great, and if you remove the mask, he has his signature evil smile, as well as the Han Solo hair and what I believe is a new color. Anyways, that's all for the figures of the set. Now it's time to take a look at the builds. The first side build is Green Goblin's kind of glider thing that he flies around on, and it is actually buildable in real life. There's not much to this build, but I do think it looks pretty accurate. And speaking of villain side builds, I really like how the Doc Ock arms turned out, especially with the arrow blade pieces for the claws. I just think that is a really cool idea for piece usage, and I'm really happy with how these guys turned out. The last side build is the MIT lady's car. It's just a pretty normal black car, but I do think it's pretty decent considering I never do vehicle builds. And you can have Doc Ock throw it at Peter or have it dangling off the bridge, which you'll see in a minute. So finally, here's the main build of the set, the bridge. On first glance, you can see some of the signs and beams and things like that, but you really need to take a closer look at it to fully appreciate all the detail. So let's do that now. So taking a closer look at the sign, you can see that it says George Washington Bridge, Newark, New Jersey, just like in the movie, and you can also put Doc Ock right here in between the beams and have him say the iconic line,
"Hello, Peter."
Speaking of, if you're reenacting the fight scene on the bridge, you can also see that on the left there are some traffic cones, and you can have Doc Ock either throw the car or Peter at those, and since they're only connected on one stud, they actually pop off very easily. On the other side of the bridge is a small hole where Doc Ock climbed through onto the bridge, and this was actually inspired by the Sandman build from the Daily Bugle set, just kind of in reverse, and it was really fun to play with all the hinges and ball joint pieces on this area of the bridge. On the side of the bridge is a small hole, which perfectly fits the car, so you can reenact the scene where Spider-Man has to catch it. From a minifig's eye view, underneath the bridge, you can see a ton of masonry and iron bar pieces just kind of texture the pillars that hold up the bridge, and there are also some snot pieces so you can position Peter and Doc Ock and have them fight underneath the bridge. One of them is specifically positioned in the place so you can reenact the scene where Doc Ock realizes that this is Peter Parker, just not his Peter Parker. Anyways, here's the set all together, and here's the box art that I made for this set. I think it turned out great. Anyways, if you did like this video, then make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm trying to get to 2.5 thousand subscribers by the end of the year, and we're so close to hitting that milestone. Also, if you have any other ideas for No Way Home sets that I could make, then make sure to comment them down below. I have a giant No Way Home set planned in the near future, so stay tuned for that. And that's all I have for you guys today. Have a great day, and go build something awesome.